I think it's a testament to just the character of the guys in our locker room. You know, great coaches. I said to my wife this morning, she made me breakfast, and I just started weeping again. But it's like you wait your whole life to play with a group of guys like that, and you hope that's the group that you end up winning with. And when it doesn't happen, I mean, it's devastating.
Talked a little bit last night. I think those two about you guys close to like finding exactly what you were.
Yeah.
I get why do you think that took so long, and is that process constantly evolving? I guess.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'll just speak to that. I don't think you've ever arrived, you know, as an individual, as a player, as a person, and certainly in groupthink, you've never arrived. You're always in the process of becoming. And unfortunately, we ran out of time with that process. I look back at just the strides we made over the course of the year. And we were such a better team than the team that started in San Diego at training camp. And I'm looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to, you know, hopefully having our core group of guys back together. There's obviously roster change every year, but hopefully having our core group of guys back together, because we really grew a lot as a team, and you know, the trust was starting to be cemented to the point where I thought we were a championship level team.
Jamal, did you feel that too?
Yeah, for sure. I think, like I talked about before, we added a whole new, coaching staff. We added 7 new guys, and then in the middle of the season, we added another 3 or 4 new guys. So it was constant turnover. But through it all, through my injury, through JJ's injury, through Chris's injury, we found a way. We became a no-excuse team. Like he said, from San Diego to this point, we're night and day. So I couldn't imagine going to training camp with the core group of guys, because we know exactly what's expected. We know exactly what to do. The trust is there. We've been through it before at this point. So I think the future's bright. It's just the sad reality that there has to be a future, and we're not playing now.
The things that you guys had to go through off the court, did that also bring you guys closer, do you think?
We were already close.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that, as humans, you have emotional capacity for so much, and unfortunately, I think, between that, just the Warriors, that series, Game 7 of that series, the way we won Game 4, the way we lost Game 5, all of that combined, I think, took a lot out of us.
Yeah, it did. It was draining. It was draining. And I mean, you can say what you want, and the reality of it, when everything first happened, I was tired, but I couldn't go to sleep. Like, it was just so many emotions. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so many different things. You have so many texts and emails and people saying this, and everybody having an opinion. And especially with social media, the world's smaller. You can't run from it. You're going to hear about it, or. But we really band together. We really leaned on each other, and I think Doc he went above and beyond to shoulder everything for us, and it was a classy job he did, and I think words can't really describe the job that he did for us.
For both of you guys going forward, you aspect this too. If Donald's starting to own the team, can you guys play for him next season?
Honestly, I couldn't give you a real honest answer right now. Like, I can't believe the season's over. Like, I'm still dealing with those emotions to think about. If you ask me in a month, and when things have calmed down and I've kind of decompressed a little bit, maybe I'll have a better answer. So hit me on Twitter. I'll hit you back and answer for you.
Trying to get followers. Trying to get followers. Yeah, I mean, just to Jamal's point, I mean, it's such a secondary or tertiary thing right now. I mean, it's definitely not at the forefront of what I'm thinking about. But I will say, it appears as though this will be a long process, and things will be in flux for a while. I can't imagine a scenario where we start the season next year and he's the owner and all is kosher. You know, he may be the owner when we start the season next year still, but I would imagine that there will be, you know, some legal proceedings ongoing if that's the scenario.
Is there anything you guys see when you look at personnel? I know you said you wanted the group to return mostly intact, but something that stands out to you that you need, maybe something off the bench, or just one big man, something that can get the team to the next level. Personnel-wise.
I mean, if you take a step back and look at it, we have the best point guard, we have the best power forward, we have one of the best two guards, definitely the best shooter. You know, we have Matt, who's a do-it-all forward, DJ, who's one of the most improved and one of the top defensive players, and pretty good six-man, I guess. And we had a pretty good bench, and we have a great coaching staff. So sometimes just experience and time. You know, I think we have a lot, and we have pretty much everything we need, you know, especially if we can keep, you know, 80, 90% of the team together. I mean, it's weird because if we win this series, we're not even having these conversations. We're in the Western Conference Finals and, you know, playing a good Spurs team. So it's a fine line between winning and losing.
Jamal, last offseason, you kind of worked out guessing kind of what your role would be with JJ on the roster. Now that you know, is that going to affect how you prepare for next season?
No, JJ's my guy. He's a starting two. I pull for him so much, honestly, and he pulls for me the same way. Like, our relationship, I think, has turned out to be one of the best.
Yeah.
You know, because I
No
didn't
question.
see it coming, competing against him for years. And we played against each other in the playoffs before. He's beat me one year, I beat him another year, you know. So to see where our relationship has gone has been a wonderful thing. And, you know, it's good to know that you have a friend, you know, besides basketball, things you could talk about, things you guys can relate to. So I'm happy we're in a great place with that.
When did the relationship start building like that, I guess, with both of you guys?
Day one.
Yeah, it was
Really.
day one.
I think there's Jamal and I have always had mutual respect for each other, and I think there was, you know, for both of us, I think this summer there was that kind of like, what's the role going to be? I didn't even know going into training camp who's going to start. I didn't know that, you know. So, but you know, from day one of training camp, Doc just talked about, you know, there's going to be people that try to tear Jamal and I apart because we're competing or whatever. But I mean, it was just we clicked right away. We bonded right away. It's funny too because, you know, when Chris got hurt, we got a chance to play together, and that was fun. I think that was great.
Yeah, that was fun.
We played well together. So.
You guys think you want Chris to get hurt more often?
No,
No.
BT.
No, we need him.
Bad.
You guys have this group text. I mean, is this one of the closest groups? I mean, usually two guys text, not like
Yeah,
a
the whole
team.
team.
I mean, is this one of the closest teams that you have?
By far, the team I've been on, by far.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is.
It's no like clicks, and that's
Yeah,
rare.
that's
where usually two guys go out to eat and three. It's the whole team. It's everybody.
it's all inclusive. Is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Last question.
Did you guys think you ever fully recovered from Game 5? Just the way that game ended.
I think I don't know about fully, but we recovered enough to, you know, still have a 12, 14-point lead in the first quarter of Game 6. You know, obviously, you know, the night it happened, the emotions are still so raw and everybody's down and everything. But then you have to look at the reality of it. You know, you can't go backwards. You can't change anything. And it wasn't just Chris. There were plays to be made from everybody. You know, and I've always said we win as a team, lose as a team. Yeah. Without Chris, we're not even in this position. You know, so there's no way you can put that on him. But you know, after that, we realized the reality of it, and we had to win and get it back to Game 7. And that's the hand we were dealt.